Hi everyone, I'm Jack Dunnigan, and this is a video series on how to create, set up, and optimize your blog. This is video number 3. If you're just dialing in, you can get the other two either on my YouTube channel or you can get it at www.jackdunnigan.com, and there's a whole page there separately just for these things. This video rather here is going to talk about the 10 components that your blog should have and where you should place them. And I'm talking mainly about the front page when it first loads. So let's get into this. I got a picture here which is a screenshot of jackdunnigan.com taken not too long ago. There are 10 items on here. It's a little small here. If you go to the page you can see it, but I'll talk about each one. Your front page is going to look something like this. You'll have different colors. You may use a different theme or a different format, a different structure, but it's going to have these 10 components. Number one, up here is a banner. It's a header. It should be unique to you. Can have your picture on it if you want. Some people do, some people don't. It should at least hint at what the blog is about. If it's a technical blog, maybe you're writing a blog about photography or repairing motorcycle engines or skateboarding or sailing or something. You want something, a photo or some sort of graphic in there that's going to give some idea what the blog is about. It should be customized so it doesn't look like all the other blog banners that are out there. If you're going to use a WordPress blog or even a Google Blogspot blog, a Blogger blog, there's some basic formats, but everybody that uses those, you get pegged right off as an amateur, so you really want to get something unique about that. Take time to create a compelling tagline. That's a little explanation. This one just gives a little information about me. I'm a writer, a trainer, and an executive coach. On my Jack Dunnigan, on my other blog rather, the Practical Leader, it says extending your reach, multiply your effectiveness, and divide your work. That's my tagline. So you want something like that. If you need help, go to Fiverr, FIVERR.com, and all sorts of people will help you out there for $5. They'll help you design a banner. Or I got a program called Xheader from xheader.com. You can download the free one, which works pretty well. Lets you set up the dimensions and do some things. They want to sell you one for $47, which has like 5,000 samples. Unless you're doing lots of blogs, you really don't need that, so just get the free one. And I'll talk about dimensions of the header in a later video. A lot of it has to do with the theme that you're using. Now, number 2, which is in my blog, is right around here. And somewhere near the top you need to have something for social media. If you don't have a presence on social media, you need to start right away. Don't get carried away, but Facebook is probably the de facto one. Everybody's using that, and it's cheap to set it up. It doesn't cost you anything. You might want to hire photos or something. You don't really need that. You can do it yourself. Twitter, which still baffles me, but I do tweet. LinkedIn, if your blog has some connection to your professional side. If it doesn't, if it's purely personal, then LinkedIn is not the place to be. It really has to do with work. And Google Plus, that's sort of Google's response to Facebook. It's starting to catch on and doing quite a bit more. It's free to set that up as well, and it's something you might want to think about. A free plugin places social media buttons on your blog. That's these buttons right here. A plugin is an extra thing that goes in a blog that does something more than just the standard framework, and they're free to do. I'll show you which ones as we get to that part of building. Next, there's a menu right here on my blog. It's right at the top. Yours should be at the top. Some have it on the side. Also, I like it across the top, and it just simply tells you where everything is. It shows you what the posts are, which are dynamic. That's this list of things down in here. That is, they change. The articles that you write keep the blog updated, and almost every one of them puts the newest article at the top. It'll also have a place to put any passing notices or announcements. Pages, which are others, I'm going to talk about those in just a few seconds, are static. They typically don't change. They're the location for permanent posts, permanent information. Your home page, this is a home page, so the format remains the same, but the content's going to change. An About You is a good page to have where you talk about yourself. It's just a biographical page with maybe a photograph or 2 or 3 or 4, however many you want. And then contact information, because you want people to be able to communicate with you. And so you need a contact information page as well. Any special offers that you might have, from time to time I offer some special things, and that'll usually have a spot up here in the menu. Now the sidebar, that's this thing over here on the side, comes all the way down, does exactly what it says. It's a bar of material off to the side. Most blogs have at least one. I have one blog that has 2, has one on each side, because I got a lot of stuff and you want to keep it up near the top. In newspapers, they talk about having articles or photos above the fold. Well, on a blog, you got the same thing. You got so much that shows up on the screen, and you put your most important stuff right there so people don't have to scroll down to get it. It can be on either side or both. Mine's on the right side, and this blog on the others, like I said, I got it on both sides. This is where widgets go. Widgets are these little add-on things that do other things for you. Here's a widget that I have. I'm going to talk about this in a minute for a free newsletter. Here's a widget that lists all the categories. I'm going to talk about those too. And here's a widget that shows other websites that I'm interested in and want to connect people with. It's a small application that does these sort of things. It has limited function, and you only want it to do certain things, and it does something useful. If it doesn't contribute to the purpose of your blog, don't bother with it. And it can be accessed or activated by your readers. Somebody can go here and sign up. They can click on these and go to all the articles in particular. Now, the idea behind a blog typically is to build an interaction, and a free sign-up offer is a good way to do it. I have a newsletter. It's right here. That I ask people to sign up to. You may want to do something else about that. You may not want to do it at all, but usually it's a way of gathering email addresses, because a lot of people are going to browse on your blog. They're going to come and take a look, but you somehow want to have a way to connect with them. Blogs build a tribe. It's an association of people that are interested in the same thing. They engage readers, and you want to try and incorporate that and encourage that. And the object is to establish a means for two-way communication. And so having a sign-up page, and there's a free way to do that. I'll talk about that also in another video. And free offers are a newsletter, a giveaway. Maybe you're handing out a special PDF file, an article or white paper or something else. Something to gather interest and harvest email address. Now the main column, that's this section in here, is going to carry your main post, and it can be configured to show an entire post or a snippet. I have snippets because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the front page. So my 5 latest posts are there, and then if you were to go to my website, you could click on, it says read more, and you can go on and look at the rest of the article, which will show up on its own page. And this is basically the important thing to do. It usually lists articles in descending order from the newest to the oldest. On pages, it will be a permanent entry on a separate page from there. And number 7 are categories. I have that over here in the sidebar, where I have assigned, when you write a blog post, you can create and then assign categories. These are topical references, so that if you're writing on certain subjects, then people can go to that and they can go down and say, well, I'm interested in a certain subject, and they can click on that, and every article that you've written for which you have assigned that category will show up. They're topical labels, and they help readers find things that are interested to them. Down here at the bottom, I have links to other websites, and at the bottom is a footer that should be on your page. And in the footer, you're going to have a copyright notice, which is right here. You're going to have another menu, and most blog things so if somebody has scrolled down that far, they can click on that without having to go all the way up to the top and get to the menu again. So there's a menu here, and there's a menu at the top. And if they're all the way down at the bottom, they just click on that. A personal message from you. Thanks for reading this. I'm glad that you stopped by. Something that's engaging to a reader. And then a privacy notice. You can go to my blog and look at that. This is really important because Google places a lot of credence in having a privacy notice. And it basically says you're not going to sell the names of people who come here. You're not going to do anything but allow them access. And Google's very, very, very particular about this. So go to my blog page and take a look at what's on the privacy notice. So that's the 10 things that should be on every blog of the component that's there. And go take a look at my blogs and stopping by. And you can check out more at these two places, jackdunnigan.com, practicalleader.com.